Stop ball, 1 minute starts now.
Craig Counsell said that he is not going to sit PCA, and I think that's just a dumb decision. He needs to rest a game or two, and it's not a punishment, but like his head is not right, and he's even kind of talked about that in interviews. So whether it's the incident with the woman and like that alone, I don't think you need to sit him for. But when you see the way he plays and like him dropping a fly ball that hits him, and then him missing a ground ball in the outfield, it's like when you see those things combined with that, it's like clearly he's not in the right headspace. And I mean, an off day today for the Cubs, hopefully that helps. But I really think I don't have any doubt in his future as a player, but like right now, he is struggling and he needs a breather. Wow, I got a lot of time left. Uh, but I mean, I'm not worried about him long term. It's just with the way he and the whole team. I mean, it's contagious because the whole team is just in a terrible slump.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like that, but I mean, you have a point. He's a great player. Like, I think he will need rest, but he's a great player.
I think the off day will help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm
All
ready
right,
now.
David, you
I
ready?
I thought of
Okay.
something. Yeah.
All right, Maserati, 1 minute now.
All right, I want to talk about something big happening in the world of the NBA. So recently, Jaylen Brown has taken to Twitch. He has done many Twitch live streams, um, and he just talked
Okay.
about the Cubs. I don't want to hear it. So he has done many Twitch live streams, all of that, right? You know, calling out Stephen A. Smith, calling out the refs, whatever you will. In my opinion, no. Like he needs to. I think it was just a bad idea going at the media, especially, one of the best journalists in Stephen A. Smith, and the highest paid ESPN journalist there is.
Can I? I'll let you finish, but I got a question.
Hold on. Okay,
Yeah,
no, hold
please.
on. Clock stopped.
Oh, wow. First time
Oh,
ever.
okay. Clock's up.
No,
Okay.
that's Bush League from you, Wesley.
Wait.
No,
If there's 16
it's
seconds
You
not.
just
left, let me
barged in.
finish the
You just
point and
It's
then
barged in.
we'll.
You just
okay.
barged
Okay.
in.
Go
I
ahead.
didn't like that. I didn't like that. All right, 16 seconds. Go.
But anyway, there's been so many people in the Celtics organization, former Celtics players that have, reached out to Kendrick Perkins, who also was involved in this whole dilemma in a way, that have texted saying, that they don't agree with Jaylen Brown. So to me, it looks like Jaylen Brown might get traded.
Wow.
Ooh,
Graded. That's a big statement.
wow.
I truly think, following all of this, like looking at the Celtics stuff, see it pop on my feed, all that, I think there's a chance because, there might be some people even in the organization, in the Celtics organization, that don't agree what Jaylen Brown is doing, calling out media, calling out the refs,
Okay. I
that
gotta ask
they're not going to
this.
like that. And it's going to make them likely to maybe trade him in a package for Giannis, perhaps.
Okay. Okay. This is
That
getting out
is,
of hand. This is
that is
Ooh.
getting
a,
way out of hand.
have you guys not
But
heard about
okay.
this? Genuinely, that
No.
is something that's
No.
being talked
No.
about in Boston media that the Celtics are going to
Okay.
go after Giannis. So
Okay. Yeah. That the in Chicago media they talked about Giannis to the Bulls, and look how that turned out.
that is
But
not happening. The Bulls are not good enough for that. So,
okay.
Really?
What remind me what the Twitch situation was? 'Cause I think I saw a clip, but I forget what he said
so there
about.
was a couple. There was a couple about Stephen A. You said
Yeah.
so. Basically, he was on Twitch and was just kind of dissing on Stephen A. He was saying how like Stephen A. uses clickbait. He's trying to like push his narrative and like there isn't any real journalism anymore in like this kind of world that's as targeted at Stephen A. There's a very kind of infamous, I guess, quote of him saying F Stephen A. And then he said, like Stephen B, Stephen C as like, kind of a joke on, his nickname. Yeah, right. Riveting. I know. But so that was the whole thing. And then Stephen A kind of shot back and said how, like, if Jaylen Brown wants real media, like he can do that. But, how Jaylen Brown didn't want him to do that because Stephen A has sources in the organization. He could have clearly, he has some information on the situation that
I,
it sounded like he didn't want Jaylen Brown to hear.
I mean, I think Jaylen Brown has somewhat of a point in that, like Stephen A. has said some outlandish things just to get engagement, and he's not
Sure.
alone. But like, I do think that's an issue in media today. It's just in engagement, right? Like,
Mhm.
clickbait or engagement farming. Like there are, and it's not. And I said it's not just Stephen A. But there are a lot of people who just say crazy things that they don't believe about sports just to get people to interact.
I
Um,
agree, but
okay, hold on. I want to say that. It's a Twitch stream. Like if he was, in a post game presser, maybe he shouldn't be saying this. But when he's just he's like probably playing some video game, right? Like on Twitch.
I think he was
Like
just saying it
he
like
was just
literally on a live
that live
stream. Yeah.
for that purpose.
Yeah.
But if it's his own personal media, I think you should not be that worried about it. Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't need to act media trained on Twitch.
I
And
agree.
Josh should probably ask me to train on IG Live.
I
Like
agree.
there's still a line.
Right.
I
Yeah.
just don't
It's
think
just
Jaylen
not
Brown really crossed it that badly.
he didn't. It's just he didn't really cross the line. I'm not saying he did something terrible, like, oh, because of this, he's gonna get traded. I think there was a chance he was gonna get traded before this all happened, truly. And there is some stuff that, he said that I do believe, like, oh, he didn't really like mean it that way, and the media kind of blew out of proportion. For example, if you saw the comment he made where he said, this was his favorite season, I think they have a point with that he shouldn't have said that necessarily because they got first rounded and his star teammate was out the whole season. So sure, there's a point there,
Yeah.
but also like it was his best playing season of his career. So
Yeah.
like he's allowed to say that. But
Yeah.
in terms of your point, just kind of last thing, then we can get to Angus's minute and wrap up. But in terms of your point about like the media, I will agree that there is this tendency that has become a thing to kind of get engagement, shape engagement to a take. You want to get engagement by saying something, specific because it will do well on the internet, will do well on a show, right? I think that can be true, but at the same time, it's part of the job because whether it's radio, whether it's TV, right? Part of the job is being able to retain your viewers, be able to get new viewers. Like that's part of the job.
Yeah.
Like you have to be able to attract new viewers, get viewership, like, and keep people listening. So
Yeah, I know you got to make a living somehow, but I also think you can keep your scruples while doing it.
I agree. I mean, it's kind of a
Yeah.
double-edged sword in a way, but
Yeah.
I have
anyway,
had
should
some
we get
time to
on to?
prepare.
Yeah, really though.
Yeah, I kind of sat out of that one. I'm still not feeling great about this, but my 1 minute will start right now. So this one's a two-parter. First of all, Colt Emerson, the number one prospect in the Mariners farm, is up, and he's shown some of what you see out of prospects sometimes. But I wanted to talk about a moment he had in the first game of the White Sox series. Mariners are up 3-1. He blows it open with a 3-run homer in the eighth, and for a season that has kind of felt disappointing for a lot of Mariners fans, it was so good to see a moment like that for Colt Emerson. And, the future is very bright with him and he'll figure it out, I'm sure. But that was just like my favorite thing that happened over our break. So I just wanted to shout it out because it was a great moment. He's going to be awesome. My second thing, I've only got 15 seconds left, but the Jazz have the number 2 pick in the 2026 NBA draft, and they cannot screw that up. If AJ DeBonta is there, which he probably won't be, you got to take him. And if he isn't there, which is very likely, it can't be like Caleb Wilson or something like that. You can't overthink it. You got to go Darren Peterson.
Really?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I
I
agree.
mean,
I mean,
Is he good enough to overlook everything else?
scheme fit, he's better than a guy like Boozer, just because the Jazz are kind of loaded on those bigs. Also, sorry, sun went down. I'm not really in a good spot lighting wise. Looks like I'm in the
Yeah.
ring right now. What happened? The
It
sun
looked like
went down.
when the lights went out at Rate Field. Like the Undertaker was coming.
Sunset happened, Wesley. But
you
I
saw the
also
sun.
talent
Like
wise,
1
I
second.
mean, it
Okay.
goes down. We have mountains.
Yeah, we don't have those in
It just
Illinois.
goes away. It just goes away here.
Clearly.
We talent wise, I mean, he's better than Boozer. Maybe you could make an argument that Caleb Wilson's a little more talented than Darren Peterson, but I think Darren Peterson can take over a game better, and that takeover gene goes a long way in the NBA, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And so that's why I think Peterson is a pretty clear cut 1-2. And that's why, DeBonce isn't there. Obviously, that's ideal. But if he isn't there, go DP.
I was gonna say, in my
Um,
opinion, DeBonster and Peterson are kind of like 1A, 1B. And you could throw Bruiser in there too. Bruiser's obviously great, but those two are kind of been talked about all year, like, oh, who's gonna go one, DeBonster or Peterson? I think it should have always been DeBonster, but
Bulls at 4, pretty much a lock at this point.
who?
Caleb
Caleb
Wilson. I
Wilson.
I wouldn't say it's a
Hmm.
lock. I could see a world where Memphis goes Wilson at 3,
Hmm.
and then the Bulls get Boozer. The Bulls, you can't go wrong with that pick because not only do you get one of those poor guys, but it's also free of pressure. You just get whoever's left.
Yeah,
And so it makes your job really easy as a front office. But the Bulls
good
have done
thing for
worse.
them
The
because it's
Bulls
been
have done
incapable.
worse.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see
Patrick
if they
Williams.
can
Yes.
make a wide open layup,
Yeah.
or if Andre Drummond will come behind Torrey Craig and try to dunk it, and they'll both miss.
I will
We
say
got
this is a
liberal
very
of
good
time on the
NBA
minute,
draft.
but
True. I know we got a little carried away in our overtime segment today. Maybe we could call it double overtime, basically.
It was
Right?
so fun though.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like the
double
double
overtime,
OT.
Thunder Spurs reference.
Yep, Thunder Spurs reference right
Yep.
there. There you go.
There we go.
But anyway,
Wait
thank you
until a
all.
game goes into 5 overtimes.
Oh, geez, just like Columbus
wrap us
Blue
up, Zig.
Jackets and Tampa Bay Lightning a couple years ago. There you go.
Nice.
All knowledge.